advisory boards are an excellent tool for managing your strategic growth. However, many times we don't hear about why advisory boards do not succeed. So I thought it would be interesting to share with you from our experience as a leading consulting firm working with many customers, why advisory boards actually fail. So let's go to the top reasons why advisory boards fail. This is not an exhaustive list by any stretch of imagination. I feel that if you will be able to avoid these 10 pitfalls, you will be in a very good shape running your advisory board. Okay? So it will not guarantee that it will be a successful program, but these are things that we see in the industry time and again. The number one reason that advisory boards fail is that it's too much work. And when we say too much work, sometimes for C-level executives, there are unrealistic expectations in terms of what does it take to run a successful advisory board. A C-level executive might tell you, what's the big deal? You're getting 10, 20, 25 customers together for a meeting. You know, why do you need all these resources? Why do you need all this investment in advisory boards? So let's pick one area and let's talk about content. So content is really the fuel, the rocket fuel that drives customer advisory boards. Without successful content, you will not have successful meetings. So let's take the example of creating an agenda and see what does it take to create a successful agenda for an advisory board. So like everything else that we do, we have a 7-step process for creating an agenda. And this 7-step process takes about 3 months from beginning to end. So this is not something that you do over the weekend. This is not something that you do drinking wine with a couple of your colleagues and trying to come up with the topics. I see some of you smiling, but maybe it works, but we take a more scientific approach to it. So there is a 7-step process. The first step is coming up with the right theme for the advisory board. And when we talk about a theme, we are very specific. There's corporate mission statements and umbrella statements, such as adding value to the business and to the customers. Talking about recent trends. This is all great. But a theme, in our book at least, has to be more specific than that in order to create the power to convene all these members together. What is a specific theme? It's a theme that leverages a market opportunity or trying to solve some kind of a market challenge. So you need to have the right theme. You need to come up with a list of top-of-mind topics. What are the topics that are most interesting and relevant, not only to you? It's a good start to start with what is important to you as a company, to your customers, to the people that you serve. What are the challenges that they are facing right now? Once you do that, you need to interview these executives within your company and subject matter experts on this list of top-of-mind topics. So these interviews are structured. You need to get as much information as possible on how they think about this list of top-of-mind topics. What is their perspective? Once you do that, you create the interview guide. And the interview guide is quite structured. You need to create an interview discussion guide that would have the list of topics. And once you do that, you can use that to interview the members. We believe in personal interviews with the members. It's a process that takes time, but it's a process that allows us to derive a lot of content out of these meetings. Each interview is 30 minutes in length. Doesn't seem like a lot. What you need to do, you need to make sure that you have an approach that would distill the essence of what you're trying to get from that interview in 30 minutes. Because if you let the customer speak about a particular topic, he can take or she can take the entire 30 minutes. You want to go through a bunch of top-of-mind topics, and you need to follow a structure in order to do that. You create the interview discussion guide. You conduct the member interviews. Once you do all that, you need to create an executive report that would summarize the key findings. What are the key findings from these interviews? What are the key trends? Then you need to come up with 3 topics. We actually believe that an advisory board meeting needs to have 3 topics. That's it. Can't tell you how many times we go to companies on a project basis and we see them trying to boil the ocean. 10, 15, 18 different topics. How can you do it in a day and a half, even 2 days? So we believe in picking 3 topics that are the most relevant, that's the heart of the advisory board, and really focus on these 3 topics. Once you find the 3 topics, we lead a content session where we focus on the top 3 questions per each session. What are the top 3 questions that you need an answer on from each session in the agenda?